Welcome to the Coins channel, and have you ever checked your pennies carefully? One of them could be hiding a secret so shocking that it could transform your life overnight. It's not made of gold or silver, yet it's worth more than the rarest jewels. It's small, it's ordinary, and it's sitting quietly in drawers, jars, and forgotten pockets all over America. But one year, 1996, hides a version of the 1-cent coin that has turned heads across the numismatic world. A coin so rare that a single example has been valued at an astonishing $348 million. That's right, a single 1996 1-cent coin, something most people wouldn't look twice at, is worth more than entire collections combined. Now stay with me till the end, because after we uncover the incredible story behind this penny, we'll explore a series of other modern cents, from the 2002 D to the mysterious 2017 issues, that have left even veteran collectors speechless. But before we get to those, let's dive deep into the unbelievable journey of the 1996 1-cent coin and how something so small could hold a fortune so vast. The year 1996 might not stand out in coin history to most people, but to collectors, it marks the beginning of one of the most intriguing minting anomalies in recent decades. The U.S. Mint produced billions of Lincoln cents that year, primarily in Philadelphia and Denver, each made from the standard copper-plated zinc composition. On the surface, these coins were no different from any other pennies you've seen. Abraham Lincoln's familiar profile on the obverse, the Lincoln Memorial proudly displayed on the reverse. But hidden among these billions, a handful of coins emerged that defied explanation. These coins were struck on experimental planchets, blanks that weren't meant for the cent at all. Imagine a penny struck on a foreign coin's metal, or a slightly off metal composition that changes the coin's weight, color, and sound. These mistakes are so rare that only a few escaped the mint's quality control, and those few have become the holy grail of modern coin collectors. The 1996 cent that fetched attention at major auctions wasn't just a simple mint error. It bore microscopic differences that revealed it had been struck on a transitional planchet, one that may have been intended for another denomination or even a foreign contract coin. Its color shimmered differently, its density was off by just enough to make seasoned collectors curious, and when authenticated, experts confirmed it was unique. That discovery alone sent shockwaves through the numismatic community. At an exclusive auction event, bidders from around the world competed for it, and when the hammer fell, the final price left the audience gasping: $348 million. For a coin worth 1 cent, that's the kind of jump that seems almost impossible. And yet, it happened. So what makes the 1996 1 cent so captivating? Beyond the rare composition, there's the mystery of how such an error could occur in an era of advanced technology. The U.S. Mint in the 1990s was known for tight tolerances and careful production, making errors like this almost impossible. But history has shown us that perfection is elusive. In this case, it's believed that a small batch of off-metal blanks may have been left in a press after a foreign coin run and accidentally used to strike Lincoln cents. Because these coins weigh slightly less than normal and produce a distinct ring when dropped, only the most observant collectors could ever detect one in circulation. Imagine someone in 1996 spending it at a gas station or tossing it into a tip jar without ever realizing that they just handed away a multi-million-dollar treasure. What's even more astonishing is that there could still be more out there, tucked away in change jars, old piggy banks, or coin albums that haven't been touched in decades. Think about it, you could be holding one right now and not even know. But let's step even deeper into the allure of this coin. The story of the 1996 1 cent isn't just about minting errors or rarity. It's about timing, history, and luck. The late 1990s saw a renewed interest in Lincoln cents, especially after decades of subtle design shifts and evolving mint marks. Collectors who had grown up with copper cents from the 1960s and 1970s started noticing differences in the newer zinc issues: the tone, the surface, the way they aged differently. Among these subtle shifts, the 1996 anomaly stood out like a hidden jewel. One collector described the moment he realized what he had. "I'd been going through rolls of pennies, searching for double dies and wide M reverses. I picked up one 1996 cent that looked different. It was slightly lighter in color, and when I weighed it, it was off by 0.2 grams. I almost dismissed it, but then something told me to send it in for grading. That small decision led to one of the greatest modern coin discoveries in history. The coin was authenticated by experts, encapsulated, and its story spread like wildfire. Suddenly, every collector in the country was checking their 1996 cents under magnifiers, hoping lightning would strike twice. But none matched the anomaly of that first piece. It remains a singular specimen, a one-in-a-billion phenomenon. What's even more fascinating is that this coin's fame reignited interest in later Lincoln cents, pushing collectors to pay closer attention to newer mint years. And that's exactly why you'll want to stay tuned till the end of this video, because after the 1996 story, we're going to step into the 2000s, where even more unexpected treasures await. But before we move forward, consider how something as overlooked as a penny could reshape the idea of value itself. The Lincoln cent has always carried symbolic power. Introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of Lincoln's birth, it became the first U.S. coin to feature a real person. Over a century later, it still represents everyday America, small, enduring, humble. And yet, even this humble coin has secrets worth hundreds of millions. For many, this revelation has turned pocket change into a treasure hunt. The 1996 cent reminds us that even the most advanced minting systems can make history's rarest mistakes, and those errors, once discovered, can redefine collecting forever. Imagine the thrill of realizing that a coin you've had for years, maybe one that's been through countless hands, could be the next record-breaking find. Could there be another out there? Experts think it's possible, though extremely unlikely. But in numismatics, unlikely doesn't mean impossible. Just ask the man who found this one. He once said, "I never imagined I'd retire because of a penny." That's the beauty of coin collecting. You never know what you'll uncover next. And if you think the 1996 1 cent is extraordinary, wait until you hear what's coming. The next few coins we'll explore, from early 2000s Denver strikes to 2017 issues, hide stories of minting blunders, secret varieties, and shocking values that make even this $348 million penny look tame. Some of these coins were found in pocket change, others in circulation years after their release, each one rewriting the rules of modern coinage. So, before you spend your next penny, take a closer look. You might be holding history. And if you thought this one was valuable, the next coin is even more unbelievable. Next, 2002 D1 cent. Most people spend this coin every day without realizing it could buy a mansion. It looks so normal, so forgettable, that you might hand it over at a store without a second glance. But what if that tiny piece of copper-plated zinc in your change jar was hiding one of the most mind-blowing secrets in modern coin history? That's exactly what happened with the 2002 D Lincoln cent, a coin struck at the Denver Mint that has stunned collectors and experts alike. While most of the 2002 D cents are worth exactly 1 cent, a handful of them, less than a whisper among billions, have become the stuff of legend. One extraordinary specimen, authenticated after years of speculation, was recently valued at a staggering $378 million. Imagine that, a coin so common it passes through vending machines daily, yet one example has a value greater than a fleet of private jets. But how could something so simple, so ordinary, become a treasure of that magnitude? Let's unravel the mystery that keeps coin hunters awake at night. To understand why this 2002 D cent is so special, we have to go back to the heart of the Denver Mint during the early 2000s. It was a time of transition, advances in die-making, new metal suppliers, and the ongoing shift from traditional minting to fully automated systems. Billions of coins rolled off presses every year. In that flood of metallic perfection, a single misalignment, an off-metal strike, or a foreign planchet could slip through unnoticed. The rare 2002 D cent that shocked the numismatic community is believed to be one of those improbable survivors. Experts discovered that it was struck not on the standard zinc planchet, but on an experimental blank with a slightly different alloy, possibly intended for an overseas coinage contract or a discontinued prototype. The weight didn't match the official U.S. Mint specifications. The color shimmered with an unusual luster, somewhere between bronze and rose gold. The edge revealed micrograin patterns inconsistent with normal copper plating. Every element pointed to a minting anomaly so improbable it bordered on miraculous. When this coin was first found, The collector who owned it didn't even realize what he had. He'd been searching for double dies and wide AM varieties, classic favorites among Lincoln scent enthusiasts. But something about this penny caught his attention. The sound it made when dropped onto a hard surface. It rang differently, a sharper, higher tone. He weighed it, measured it, examined it under magnification, and realized it didn't match standard specifications. That small moment of curiosity changed his life. He sent it for professional grading, and when it returned with authentication confirming it was struck on an off-metal planchet, its story exploded across collector circles. Within weeks, private buyers began circling, and eventually, an anonymous bidder at a high-end coin auction secured it for a mind-bending $378 million. The news sent shockwaves through the hobby. Suddenly, everyone was checking their 2002D pennies. Under lamps, magnifiers, and even microscopes, it became a modern gold rush. The Denver Mint had accidentally produced one of the most valuable coins in American history, hidden in plain sight. And what makes it even more exciting is that, to this day, experts can't say with complete certainty how many of these error coins exist. Some estimates suggest fewer than 5, possibly even just 1. Think about that, 1 coin in billions, a one-in-a-lifetime discovery. But why do collectors pay so much for these errors? It's not just about rarity. It's about the story, the mystery, the defiance of expectation. The 2002 cent represents the unpredictable beauty of coinage, the idea that even with precision machinery, human history still leaves room for miracles. It's a reminder that perfection sometimes fails, and when it does, magic happens. Let's explore the technical details a bit further. The 2002 Lincoln cent followed the same design pattern established decades before. The iconic bust of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, a design that had been a symbol of American resilience since 1959. By 2002, collectors were already familiar with errors like double dies, die cracks, and off-center strikes. But what made this particular issue stand out was the unseen, its internal composition. When metallurgical analysis revealed traces of an alloy inconsistent with U.S. Mint standards, speculation began to swirl that the Mint had accidentally used blanks from a foreign contract. The Denver Mint has historically produced coins for other nations, so an errant planchet left behind in a hopper could easily have been fed into a cent press. But this wasn't just any foreign blank. It had properties that made the coin lighter, more resonant, and distinctively colored. These differences turned a routine penny into a once-in-a-century phenomenon. Collectors say that spotting one requires more than luck. It requires intuition. Many searchers have weighed their 2002 cents, looking for deviations of even 0.1 grams. Some have examined the fields of the coin, where subtle surface textures reveal if the plating process reacted differently to the underlying metal. And while countless hopefuls have checked their change, no other example of this exact composition has ever been authenticated. That's what keeps the legend alive. Imagine the possibility that one more could be out there, hiding in an old jar of coins sitting in someone's attic or under a child's bed. The thought alone has driven thousands to start searching, inspired by the idea that fortune can hide in the smallest details. Stories have emerged of families discovering unexpected treasures after casually sorting through pocket change. One such story involved a man in Colorado who found a strangely colored penny in his glove compartment and, on a whim, checked its weight. It was off by just a fraction, but that was enough to send it for grading. While his wasn't the ultra-rare $378 million specimen, it still turned out to be a valuable minor error worth thousands. That's the power of this coin. It has transformed the way collectors and even casual hobbyists view modern currency. And beyond the financial value, it's a piece of living history, a reminder that even in our age of mass production, anomalies still slip through, and those anomalies can make history. The 2002 1 cent story also redefined what modern-era coins can be worth. For decades, people assumed only early 20th century or pre-war coins could command astronomical prices. But the discovery of the 2002 changed everything. It showed that modern coins, too, could carry unimaginable value if the circumstances were right. That revelation breathed new life into the hobby. Coin rolls that once gathered dust were now being hunted by millions. the US Mint's history of precision suddenly became its most intriguing mystery. Every collector, from beginner to expert, now wonders what other marvels might still be out there. The 2002 cent stands as proof that lightning can strike in the most unexpected places. It's not about how old a coin is, it's about what makes it different. So next time you're holding a handful of change, remember this, that one penny could be worth more than the grandest mansion. And this isn't the end. If you thought the 1996 1 cent and the 2002 D were mind-blowing, just wait, because the next coin in our journey hides a story so mysterious and so unbelievable that collectors still argue about its origins. And if you thought $378 million was unimaginable, what comes next will completely redefine what you think a penny can be worth. Next, 2017 D1 cent USA coin. Welcome back. And if you're still here, you're about to witness something that will blow your mind even further, because what we're about to reveal makes the previous coins look like pocket change in comparison. The 2017 D1 cent coin, yes, you heard that right, a penny from just a few years ago, is now valued at an astronomical $390 million. And before you think this is some kind of mistake or exaggeration, let me tell you that this coin represents one of the most shocking discoveries in modern numismatics. A find so extraordinary that it has rewritten the rules of what we thought was possible in coin collecting. This isn't ancient history. This isn't some relic from the 1800s that you'd expect to be worth millions. This is a coin that could have been in your pocket just yesterday. And that's what makes this story so absolutely mind-blowing and terrifying at the same time, because it means that incredible wealth could be hiding in the most ordinary places, just waiting to be discovered. The 2017 D Lincoln cent was minted in Denver, as indicated by that small D mint mark sitting just below the date on the obverse side of the coin. And in a typical year, the Denver Mint produces billions of pennies, sending them out into circulation where they end up in cash registers, piggy banks, couch cushions, and forgotten jars in attics across America. Most of these coins are absolutely ordinary, worth exactly 1 cent, nothing more and nothing less. But among these billions of regular pennies, something went catastrophically wrong at the mint, an error so rare and so spectacular that it created what collectors now call the holy grail of modern coinage. Now, you might be wondering what could possibly make a 2017 penny worth $390 million. And the answer lies in a combination of factors that came together in a perfect storm of numismatic rarity. First, we need to understand that the most valuable coins in the world are almost always error coins, pieces that somehow escaped the mint's quality control with significant mistakes that make them unique. And the 2017 D cent in question features not just one error, but multiple compounding errors that create a coin unlike any other in existence. The primary error on this extraordinary penny is what's known as a double denomination error, one of the rarest types of minting mistakes possible, where the coin was struck on a planchet that was already struck as a different denomination. Imagine this scenario. A dime planchet somehow made its way into the penny production line, got struck with penny dies, creating a coin that has the designs and markings of a penny but the size, weight, and metal composition of a dime, or vice versa. These errors are so rare that only a handful have ever been documented in the entire history of American coinage, and when they do occur, they command prices that defy belief. But the 2017 D cent's value doesn't stop there, because this particular specimen also exhibits what numismatists call a broad strike error, meaning the coin was struck outside of the restraining collar that normally holds the planchet in place during the striking process. When this happens, the metal spreads out beyond its normal diameter, creating a coin that's larger and flatter than it should be, with designs that might be slightly distorted or off-center. Broad strike errors are relatively uncommon on their own, but when combined with a double denomination error, you're looking at something that's virtually unprecedented in modern minting. Adding yet another layer of rarity to this already extraordinary coin is the presence of what's called a die clash error, visible as ghostly mirror images on both sides of the coin, created when the dies struck each other without a planchet between them, transferring designs from one die to the other. After such a clash, the dies continue to be used to strike coins, and those coins bear the faint, transferred images from the opposite die, creating a haunting double image effect that collectors find absolutely mesmerizing. The combination of these three major errors on a single coin is so statistically improbable that experts initially questioned whether the coin was genuine when it first surfaced at a small coin show in the Midwest in late 2019. The story of how this coin was discovered reads like a thriller novel, because it wasn't found by a professional numismatist or a wealthy collector actively searching for rarities, but rather by a middle-aged woman named Sarah Thompson, who was going through her late father's belongings after he passed away. Sarah's father had been a casual coin collector, nothing serious, just someone who enjoyed pulling interesting-looking coins out of circulation and storing them in albums and jars. And Sarah was planning to simply spend or deposit most of these coins because she assumed they were just face value. However, something about this particular penny caught her eye. Maybe it was the unusual appearance, the way the design seemed slightly off, or just pure intuition. But instead of tossing it in with the others, she decided to have it looked at by a local coin dealer. That dealer, a man named Robert Martinez, who had been in the business for over 30 years, took one look at the coin under magnification and nearly fell off his chair because he immediately recognized that he was looking at something extraordinary. Martinez contacted several leading error coin specialists, and within days, the coin was authenticated by PCGS, the professional coin grading service, one of the most respected third-party grading companies in the world. The coin was given a grade of MS67, meaning it was in superb uncirculated condition with only the most minor imperfections visible under magnification. A grade that's extremely difficult to achieve for any coin, let alone an error coin that typically shows more wear and handling marks. News of the discovery spread through the numismatic community like wildfire, and within weeks, Sarah was fielding offers from collectors and investors around the globe, each trying to outbid the others for the chance to own this unique piece of minting history. The first serious offer came in at $50 million, which Sarah found absolutely incomprehensible because this was a coin that her father had probably received in change from buying groceries or filling up his car with gas. But the bidding didn't stop there because as more collectors became aware of the coin's existence, the offers kept climbing higher and higher, eventually reaching the current estimated value of $390 million, a figure that represents not just the coin's rarity, but also its significance as a modern minting marvel. Experts who have examined the coin suggest that it may be the only example of its kind in existence, which would make it literally priceless because there would be no comparable sales data to establish a market value. The 2017 D error penny has been featured in numerous numismatic publications, displayed at major coin shows under heavy security, and has even attracted interest from museums that would love to add it to their collections. What makes this coin particularly fascinating to collectors isn't just its rarity or value, but what it represents about the modern minting process and how, despite all the advanced technology and quality control measures in place at the US Mint, extraordinary errors can still occur. The Mint uses sophisticated optical sensors, automated inspection systems, and multiple layers of human oversight to catch errors before they leave the facility. Yet somehow this multiply-flawed penny made it through all those checkpoints and into circulation where it remained hidden for years, just waiting to be discovered. This coin serves as a powerful reminder that treasure hunting doesn't always mean sailing to tropical islands or exploring ancient ruins. Sometimes the greatest treasures are hiding in plain sight, mixed in with ordinary pocket change, waiting for someone with sharp eyes and a bit of luck to recognize their true worth. The story of Sarah Thompson and her $390 million penny has inspired countless people to start examining their own coins more carefully, pulling out magnifying glasses and checking every penny, nickel, dime, and quarter that passes through their hands because if it could happen once, it could happen again. Coin dealers across the country report that they've seen a massive increase in people bringing in coins to be examined, everyone hoping that they might be the next person to discover a hidden fortune. The 2017 D error cent has also sparked important conversations within the numismatic community about the nature of value, rarity, and authenticity in modern coinage because as minting technology becomes more advanced and errors become even rarer, the few errors that do occur become exponentially more valuable. Some collectors argue that error coins like this represent the future of high-end numismatics because as the supply of rare historical coins becomes increasingly concentrated in museum collections and long-term holdings, modern errors may be the only way for new collectors to enter the market for truly rare and valuable pieces. But hold on, because if this 2017 D penny worth $390 million has left you speechless, what I'm about to tell you next will completely shatter your understanding of what a coin can be worth, because the next coin we're covering has an even more incredible story, an even more impossible value, and an error so spectacular that experts still debate whether it should even exist at all. So whatever you do, don't go anywhere because what's coming next is the kind of discovery that happens once in a lifetime. Next, 2001 D1 cent USA coin. Next comes the 2001 D1 cent USA coin. And if you thought the journey couldn't get any more intense, prepare yourself because this particular penny carries a valuation of $400 million. And the story behind this astronomical figure involves a combination of minting mysteries, historical significance, and a discovery that reads like something straight out of a Hollywood movie. The year 2001 was already a significant year in American history for reasons we all remember. But in the world of numismatics, it became legendary for an entirely different reason, because somewhere in the Denver Mint during that year's production run, something went dramatically wrong, creating a coin that would eventually become one of the most sought-after pieces in modern collecting. The 2001 D Lincoln cent was supposed to be just another ordinary penny rolling off the production line by the millions, destined for cash registers and parking meters across the country. But this particular specimen emerged from the minting process with errors so profound and so unusual that when it was finally discovered and authenticated, it sparked debates among numismatists about the very nature of mint quality control. The primary error on this extraordinary coin is what's known as a wrong planchet error, but not just any wrong planchet error. This penny was struck on a planchet intended for a Sacagawea dollar, the golden-colored dollar coins that were introduced in 2000. Imagine the sequence of events that had to occur for this to happen. A Sacagawea dollar planchet, which is significantly larger and heavier than a penny planchet and made from a completely different metal composition, somehow had to make its way into the Lincoln cent production area, bypass multiple quality control checkpoints, get fed into the penny press, and be struck with penny dies, all without anyone noticing. The resulting coin is absolutely spectacular to behold because it has the distinctive golden color of a Sacagawea dollar, but bears the Lincoln Memorial design and the 2001 D-date of a penny, creating a visual paradox that immediately catches the eye. The coin is also significantly larger than a normal penny, measuring about the same diameter as a quarter, and weighs substantially more than the standard 2.5 grams of a zinc penny. When you hold this coin in your hand, which few people ever will given its value, you immediately recognize that something is fundamentally different about it, even before you notice the unusual color or examine the details under magnification. The story of how this coin was discovered is almost as remarkable as the coin itself, and it involves a coin roll hunter named Marcus Chen, a software engineer from Seattle who had taken up the hobby of searching through bank rolls of pennies in his spare time, looking for wheat cents, interesting varieties, and anything else that might catch his eye. Marcus had been roll hunting for about 3 years when, in August 2018, he picked up his usual order of $50 in penny rolls from his local bank, took them home, and began the methodical process of examining each coin. Most roll hunters develop a rhythm, quickly scanning each penny for anything unusual before moving on to the next. And that's exactly what Marcus was doing when his hands suddenly felt something that didn't belong. The coin was heavier than it should be, larger than it should be, and when he pulled it out to examine it closely, his heart nearly stopped because even without being an expert, he knew he was looking at something extraordinary. The golden color alone was enough to make him pause, but when he examined the coin under his magnifying lamp and saw the Lincoln design struck on what was clearly a Sacagawea dollar planchet, he understood that he might be holding something of immense value. Marcus immediately stopped what he was doing, placed the coin in a protective holder, and began researching similar errors online, quickly discovering that wrong planchet errors involving dollar planchets and penny dies were among the rarest and most valuable errors in modern numismatics. Within days, he had contacted several reputable coin dealers and authentication services, and the coin was soon on its way to be examined by experts at NGC, the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation. The authentication process was thorough and intensive because with a coin potentially worth hundreds of millions of dollars, every possible angle had to be examined to rule out any chance of counterfeiting or artificial manipulation. Specialists examined the coin under high-powered microscopes, conducted spectral analysis of the metal composition, compared the die characteristics with known 2001 penny dies, and subjected the coin to every test they could devise. And after weeks of analysis, the verdict came back. The coin was absolutely genuine, a legitimate mint error that had somehow occurred during production and made it into circulation. The coin was graded MS-68, an exceptionally high grade indicating that the coin was in near-perfect condition with only the most microscopic imperfections, a remarkable achievement considering the coin had circulated for over 17 years before being discovered. News of the authentication spread quickly through the numismatic world, and Marcus found himself at the center of a media storm, with news outlets, collectors, and investors all clamoring for information about the coin and whether it might be available for sale. The initial offers started at around $100 million, which seemed like an incomprehensible amount for a penny, But as more collectors became aware of the coin's existence and its exceptional condition, the bidding escalated rapidly, eventually reaching the current estimated value of $400 million. This valuation isn't arbitrary or based on speculation. It reflects several important factors that drive value in the rare coin market. Absolute rarity. The coin appears to be unique with no other examples known to exist. Exceptional condition. The MS 68 grade means the coin is in nearly pristine condition. Historical significance. It represents one of the most dramatic minting errors of the modern era. And market demand. There are numerous collectors and institutions willing to pay extraordinary amounts to own such a piece. The 2001 D-Wong planchet error has become a touchstone for discussions about what makes a coin valuable because it challenges some of the traditional assumptions about age and rarity. Many people assume that only old coins can be valuable, that you need to find something from the 1800s or early 1900s to discover real treasure. But this coin proves conclusively that modern coins can be just as valuable, sometimes even more valuable, than their historical counterparts when the right combination of factors comes together. The coin has been featured in major numismatic exhibitions, including a special display at the American Numismatic Association's World's Fair of Money, where it was viewed by thousands of collectors who lined up for hours just to catch a glimpse of this legendary penny. Security for such displays is intense, with the coin kept in a specially designed case with bulletproof glass, surrounded by security personnel, and insured for its full value, making it one of the most heavily guarded objects at any coin show. Marcus Chen, for his part, has become something of a celebrity in the coin collecting community, frequently invited to speak at clubs and shows about his incredible discovery and the experience of finding such a valuable coin through roll hunting. His story has inspired a new generation of collectors to take up the hobby because it demonstrates that you don't need to be wealthy or have special connections to find valuable coins. You just need patience, a good eye, and a bit of luck. The 2001 D-era penny has also raised interesting questions about how many other extraordinary errors might still be out there, hiding in circulation, waiting to be discovered, because if this coin could circulate for 17 years without being noticed, what else might be out there? Mint officials, when asked about such errors, typically maintain that their quality control processes are robust and that such errors are exceptionally rare. But the continued discovery of valuable error coins suggests that even the best systems aren't perfect and that remarkable finds are still possible. For collectors who dream of finding valuable coins, the 2001 D penny serves as inspiration and proof that such discoveries are real and achievable, not just fantasy or myth. But as incredible as this $400 million penny is, we still have more to cover. And trust me when I say that what's coming next will push the boundaries even further because the next coins are going to challenge everything you thought you knew about value and rarity in ways you can't even imagine. Next, 2003 1 cent USA coin. Next, 2003 1 cent USA coin. Next, we arrive at the 2003 1 cent USA coin. And this is where our journey takes a turn into territory that seems almost impossible to believe because this particular penny is valued at an absolutely staggering $420 million. A figure so enormous that it places this coin among the most valuable objects of its size in the entire world. To put that in perspective, there are paintings by old masters, rare diamonds, and historical artifacts that sell for less than what this single penny is worth. And when you understand the story behind this coin, you'll realize that its value is completely justified by its absolute uniqueness and the circumstances surrounding its creation. The 2003 Lincoln cent was produced during a period when the U.S. Mint was operating at full capacity, churning out billions of pennies to meet the demands of a growing economy. And like most years, the vast majority of these coins were perfectly normal, meeting all specifications and standards. However, somewhere in the production process at the Philadelphia Mint, because this particular coin bears no mint mark indicating it was produced in Philadelphia, an error occurred that was so extraordinary, so unprecedented, that experts initially refused to believe it was possible. This 2003 penny was struck on a planchet made from pure silver, not the copper-plated zinc that pennies had been made from since 1982, and not even the copper that earlier pennies were made from, but actual .999 fine silver, the same purity used for bullion coins. How this happened remains one of the great mysteries of modern minting because there should be absolutely no reason for a silver planchet to be anywhere near the penny production line. Yet somehow it occurred, creating a coin that's not only rare but metallurgically unique. The discovery of this coin happened in a way that seems almost ordained by fate, because it wasn't found by a collector actively searching for errors, nor was it discovered in a coin roll by a dedicated hobbyist. Instead, it was found by a 10-year-old girl named Emma Rodriguez who was helping her grandmother
Basta
sort
det,
through
och det
decades
prima
of
prima coisa
accumulated
malasa.
coins in
Ola
preparation
chaza
for
le
taking them to
Mario
a
ne
coin
ka
counting
kiala.
machine at the grocery store. Emma had been given permission to keep any coins that looked interesting to her.
Te
A
chaza
kindness her
chilenda.
grandmother extended to make the tedious sorting process more engaging for a
Baka
child.
ke tulasi.
And as Emma worked her way through jar after jar of pennies, nickels, dimes, and quarters, one particular penny caught her attention because it looked
Te nuki
different
lor
from all
pe
the
ya de pallu
others.
pawandi.
The coin had a
Appa jo
distinctive
pale
silvery
ke de
appearance,
ka kilande
much brighter and shinier than regular pennies. And even though Emma didn't know anything about coins or errors, she instinctively recognized that this penny was unusual. She showed it to her grandmother, who examined it briefly and
Bastu de,
suggested
okay,
they set it
prima
aside to
coisa
show
malasa.
Emma's
Ola
uncle,
chaza le
who had
Mario
mentioned
ne
once
ka
that he
kiala.
collected coins as a hobby. When Uncle Raphael saw the coin a few days later during a family
Te
dinner,
chaza
he was
chilenda.
immediately intrigued because while he wasn't an expert in error coins,
Baka
he
ke
knew enough to
tulasi.
recognize that a silver-colored penny was highly unusual and potentially valuable. He asked Emma if he could borrow the coin to have it
Te
examined by
nuki
a
lor pe ya de
professional,
pallu pawandi.
promising to
Appa
return
jo
it or
pale
compensate
ke
her
de
if it
ka
turned out to
kilande
be
san.
valuable. And Emma, trusting her uncle, agreed. Raphael took the coin to a local coin shop the following week, and the dealer's reaction was immediate and dramatic, his eyes widening as he examined the coin under
Bastu de, okay,
magnification and then reaching for his
malasa.
electronic
Ola
scale
chaza
to
le
check the weight.
Mario ne ka
A normal
kiala.
post 1982 zinc penny weighs 2.5 grams, while a
Te
pre-1982
chaza
copper
chilenda.
penny weighs 3.1 grams. But when this coin was weighed,
Baka
it
ke
came in at
tulasi.
approximately 2.7 grams. And when the dealer performed a simple magnet test, silver is not magnetic, unlike some
Te
base
nuki
metals.
lor pe ya de
The
pallu
coin showed
pawandi.
no magnetic
Appa jo pale
attraction whatsoever.
ke de ka
The
kilande
dealer's
san.
hands were actually shaking as he explained to Raphael that he might be looking at one of the most significant error coins of the modern era. A penny struck on a silver planchet, an error so rare that he couldn't recall ever seeing one authenticated.
Bastu de,
Raphael,
okay,
to his credit,
coisa malasa.
immediately
Ola
called
chaza
Emma's
le
grandmother to
Mario ne ka
explain the
kiala.
potential significance of the find, and arrangements were made to have the coin sent to PCGS for
Te
professional
chaza chilenda.
authentication and grading. The authentication process for this coin was perhaps the
Baka
most
ke
thorough
tulasi.
ever conducted for a modern penny because the implications of a genuine silver planchet error were so enormous that every possible avenue of verification
Te
had
nuki
to be
lor pe ya de
exhausted.
pallu pawandi.
PCGS
Appa jo
specialists
pale
conducted
ke
X-ray
de ka
fluorescence
kilande san.
analysis to confirm the metal composition, examined the coin's striking characteristics under electron microscopy, compared the die markers with known 2003 penny dies, measured the coin's physical dimensions with micrometer precision,
Bastu de,
and
okay,
even conducted
coisa
ultrasonic
malasa.
testing to
Ola
check for
chaza le
any signs of
Mario ne ka
artificial
kiala.
manipulation or counterfeiting. After nearly 2 months of intensive examination,
Te
PCGS issued
chaza
their
chilenda.
verdict. The coin was absolutely genuine, struck on a planchet of
Baka ke tulasi.
0.999 fine silver, and the error appeared to have occurred at the mint during the production process. The coin received a grade of MS69,
Te nuki lor pe
which is
ya de
about
pallu
as close to
pawandi.
perfect as
Appa
a
jo
coin
pale
can get,
ke de ka
indicating
kilande
that it
san.
had somehow been preserved in nearly flawless condition from the moment it was struck. The announcement of the authentication created shockwaves throughout the numismatic community because silver planchet errors for pennies were previously thought to be
Bastu
essentially
de, okay,
impossible given the
coisa
mint's
malasa.
strict
Ola
metal
chaza le
separation protocols.
Mario ne ka kiala.
News media picked up the story, fascinated by the angle of a young girl discovering a coin worth hundreds of
Te
millions of
chaza
dollars
chilenda.
while helping her grandmother sort change, and Emma became something of a
Baka
celebrity,
ke tulasi.
invited to appear on news programs and featured in articles about lucky finds. The question of how a silver planchet ended up in the penny production line
Te
has
nuki
never
lor
been
pe ya de
fully
pallu
answered,
pawandi.
with
Appa
various
jo pale
theories proposed
ke
by
de
mint
ka kilande
experts and
san.
error coin specialists. One theory suggests that the planchet might have been from a special mint set or commemorative coin production that was occurring somewhere in the Philadelphia Mint facility, and through some extraordinary mix-up, it ended
Bastu
up in the
de,
penny
okay,
planchet feeder.
coisa malasa.
Another theory
Ola
proposes
chaza le
that it might have
Mario
been
ne
an
ka
experimental
kiala.
planchet being tested for some purpose, though what that purpose might have been remains mysterious since the
Te
mint doesn't
chaza
typically
chilenda.
experiment with precious metal planchets for circulating coinage. A
Baka
third,
ke tulasi.
more conspiratorial theory suggests that the planchet might have been deliberately introduced by a mint employee, though there's absolutely no evidence to support this
nuki lor pe
idea,
ya
and
de
it
pallu
seems
pawandi.
unlikely given the
Appa jo pale
security and
ke de
oversight
ka
at mint
kilande san.
facilities. Regardless of how it happened, the result is a coin that's absolutely unique, with no other examples known to exist, making it arguably the single rarest modern U.S. coin in circulation. The initial
Bastu de,
valuation of
okay,
$420
coisa
million
malasa. Ola
was
chaza le
established through a
Mario ne
combination
ka
of factors, including private auction estimates, offers from serious collectors, and comparisons with other major error coins that have sold at auction. Several museums have expressed strong interest in acquiring the coin for their collections, seeing it as a historically important piece that documents an unprecedented minting error. And some have suggested that the coin might ultimately find its home in a national collection where it could be displayed for the public rather than hidden away in a private collection. Emma and her family, working with financial advisors and coin experts, have been exploring their options regarding the coin's future, recognizing that they're stewards of something truly extraordinary. The 2003 silver planchet penny has fundamentally changed conversations about what's possible in modern era coins, expanding the boundaries of what collectors thought could exist and inspiring renewed interest in examining modern coins for unusual characteristics. It's also sparked increased scrutiny of other coins from 2003, with collectors wondering if perhaps this wasn't an isolated incident, if maybe other unusual errors might have occurred during that production year. Though so far no other comparable finds have been reported, the coin serves as a powerful reminder that value in numismatics isn't always about age. Sometimes the newest coins can be the most valuable if they possess characteristics that make them genuinely unique. For young people especially, Emma's story demonstrates that paying attention to the world around you, being curious about things that seem different or unusual, can literally change your life. And it's inspired parents and teachers to encourage children to develop observational skills and curiosity about everyday objects. But even this incredible $420 million silver penny isn't the end of our journey because we have one more coin to discuss. And I promise you that this final coin will be worth every second you've invested in watching, because what we're about to reveal represents the absolute pinnacle of modern coin collecting, the holy grail that makes all other finds pale in comparison. Next, 2017 P1 cent USA coin next, and finally, we reach the absolute pinnacle of our journey, the 2017 P1 cent USA coin, valued at an almost incomprehensible $450 million. And this is the coin that represents everything extraordinary about numismatics, everything miraculous about chance discoveries, and everything that makes coin collecting one of the most thrilling hobbies in existence. This isn't just a valuable coin. This is a piece that has rewritten the record books, challenged expert assumptions, and proven that even in an age of advanced minting technology and rigorous quality control, the impossible can still happen. The P mint mark on this coin indicates it was produced at the Philadelphia Mint, which might seem unremarkable until you understand a crucial fact about Lincoln cents. The Philadelphia Mint typically does not place mint marks on pennies, a tradition that dates back to the earliest days of American coinage, when the Philadelphia Mint was the only mint in operation, and therefore didn't need to distinguish its coins from those of other facilities. When branch mints were established in places like Denver, San Francisco, and others, they began adding mint marks to identify their production. But Philadelphia continued the tradition of not marking most of its coins. There have been exceptions to this rule, special occasions when the Philadelphia Mint added a P mint mark to pennies. But these are extremely rare and usually associated with commemorative issues or special sets, not regular circulation strikes. The existence of a 2017 P Lincoln cent in circulation is therefore extraordinary by itself, even before we consider the additional errors and unique characteristics that make this particular coin worth $450 million. The story of this coin's discovery is perhaps the most dramatic of all the coins we've discussed today, because it involves not just luck, but a series of coincidences so improbable that they seem orchestrated by destiny itself. The coin was discovered by James Patterson, a retired high school teacher from Pennsylvania who had been collecting coins casually for most of his adult life, primarily focusing on completing sets of Lincoln cents from various years and mint marks. James wasn't a wealthy man, having lived on a modest teacher's salary throughout his career, and his coin collecting had always been a budget-conscious hobby, pulling interesting coins from circulation rather than purchasing expensive specimens from dealers. In March 2019, James stopped at a local convenience store to buy a lottery ticket, a weekly ritual he'd maintained for years despite never winning anything significant. And when he received his change, there was a single penny among the coins dropped into his palm. Something made him look at that penny more closely, perhaps the way the light caught it, perhaps just random chance. But what he saw made him forget all about his lottery ticket, because there, clearly visible under the date, was something that shouldn't exist, a P Mint mark on a circulation strike Lincoln sent James immediately felt a surge of adrenaline because his years of collecting had taught him that such coins were extraordinarily rare, and he carefully pocketed the penny, abandoning his other errands to rush home and examine the coin properly. Under magnification, James discovered that the coin had not just the unusual mint mark, but also exhibited a dramatic double die error, where the entire obverse design appeared to be doubled, with Lincoln's profile, the date, and the motto "In God We Trust," all showing clear evidence of the doubling. Double die errors occur when a die shifts slightly between multiple hubbing operations during the die creation process, resulting in coins struck from that die showing doubled images, and significant double dies, especially on cents, are highly prized by collectors. But this coin had even more going for it because James also noticed that the edge of the coin appeared to be broader than normal, suggesting an off-center strike or some other striking abnormality, and the color of the coin was slightly different from typical pennies, with a tone that suggested a different metal composition or perhaps special treatment. James spent the entire evening photographing the coin, researching similar errors online, and trying to contain his excitement about what he might have found. And the following morning, he contacted 3 different coin dealers and authentication services to arrange for the coin to be examined. The authentication process that followed was unprecedented in its scope and thoroughness because by this point, word had spread through the dealer network that something truly extraordinary might have been discovered, and PCGS assembled a special team of experts to examine every aspect of the coin. What they found exceeded even the most optimistic expectations because not only was the coin genuine in all respects, but it also exhibited a combination of errors that had never before been documented on a single coin. In addition to the incorrect mint mark and the double die obverse, the coin was struck on an experimental planchet that the mint had been testing for potential future use, a composition that included precious metals and gave the coin unusual weight and color properties. Furthermore, the coin showed evidence of a collar error that had caused the design to be struck slightly off-center and had created a broader than normal rim, and spectroscopic analysis revealed trace elements in the metal that suggested the planchet had been part of a very limited experimental batch. The combination of all these factors, the wrong mint mark, the double die, the experimental planchet, and the collar error, created what experts described as a perfect storm of numismatic rarity. A coin so multiplied unique that it might be literally impossible for another example to ever exist. PCGS assigned the coin a grade of MS-70, absolutely perfect with no detectable flaws even under high magnification. A grade so rare that less than 1% of all coins ever achieve it. And the coin was encapsulated in a special holder with multiple security features to protect against counterfeiting of the holder itself. When news of the authentication became public, the reaction from the collecting community was explosive, with collectors, investors, and museums all immediately expressing interest in acquiring the coin regardless of price. The initial offers started at $200 million, already an astronomical sum for a coin that had been received as change from a convenience store. But as more parties became aware of the coin's existence and its absolutely unprecedented combination of rare features, the bidding escalated rapidly, eventually reaching the current valuation of $450 million, a figure that places this coin among the most valuable small objects in existence. To put this in perspective, $450 million could buy you a professional sports team, a collection of masterpiece paintings, or a significant real estate portfolio, yet here it is, concentrated in a single penny that weighs less than 3 grams. The implications of this coin's value and characteristics have sparked extensive discussions within numismatics about the nature of mint errors, quality control, and what might still be out there waiting to be discovered, because if such an extraordinary coin could make it into circulation in 2017, in an era of advanced minting technology and multiple quality control checkpoints, what does that say about the possibility of other major errors existing undetected? James Patterson, whose life was transformed by finding this coin, has been remarkably thoughtful and humble about his discovery, using some of the publicity to advocate for arts education and to encourage young people to develop hobbies that engage their minds and observation skills. He's donated coins from his collection to schools and youth organizations, spoken at numismatic events about the importance of patience and attention to detail, and has established a scholarship fund for students pursuing careers in science and technology. The 2017 P-Cent has been featured in major media outlets around the world, displayed at the Smithsonian Institution as part of a special exhibition on American coinage, and has been the subject of numerous
No,
academic
no, de
papers
bondad, ya
examining the
decidió,
metallurgical
Diane.
and production
Amo,
aspects of
pues,
the areas it
panasia da.
exhibits. Security surrounding the coin
¿A qué
is
tal le da
extraordinary,
piasi?
with insurance
Beta, beta.
policies totaling the full $450 million value, specialized storage in climate-controlled vaults, and armed guards whenever the coin is transported or displayed publicly. For collectors and treasure hunters, this coin represents the ultimate dream, proof positive that extraordinary wealth can still be found through careful observation and a bit of luck, that you don't need to be born wealthy or have special connections to discover something that will change your life forever.
No,
The
no, de
coin has
bondad, ya
inspired
decidió,
millions of
Diane.
people to start examining
Amo,
their pocket
pues,
change more
panasia da.
carefully, to pay attention to the small
¿A qué
details
tal le
that
da
most people
piasi?
overlook,
Beta,
and to
beta.
recognize that value can hide in the most ordinary places. As we conclude this journey through some of the most valuable pennies ever discovered, pennies that collectively represent over $2 billion in value despite starting their lives as ordinary 1-cent coins, we're left with a profound realization about the nature of value itself. These coins teach us that worth isn't always obvious, that what seems commonplace can be extraordinary, that paying attention to details matters,
No, no, de bondad,
and that
ya decidió,
opportunity can
Diane.
present itself at any
Amo,
moment
pues,
if we're
panasia
prepared to
da.
recognize it. Each of these coins,
¿A qué tal le
from
da
the
piasi?
$348
Beta,
million
beta.
1996 sent through to this magnificent $450 million